We live in a day and age where we are being programmed into taking offense. That's right. We are being conditioned into finding just about any and everything that can be taken with offense with offense. Instead of, the old days where maybe, just maybe, you may be told that everything doesn't have to be taken personal. Maybe, just maybe, everything does not need defensiveness. Maybe, just maybe, some things that are said only have an effect on you when you allow them. We now live in a completely different era, completely opposite space and time, where we are taught that everything, and I do mean everything, is offensive. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say that every single thing that somebody says to you or the way that somebody treats you, etc., is, just to be let go and allowed. I'm not the type of person to say every single thing that somebody says, just allow it to be said about you and continue to disrespect yourself in the process or be gaslit in the process. That's not what I'm standing for. That's not even what I'm speaking on. What I'm talking about specifically is that things that you otherwise would not have been offended about, or the things that you may have been triggered by and offended by, but worked through and resolved and truly went through that internal state of healing. Now, we're no longer doing the healing part. We're no longer doing the introspection, the self-awareness. Instead, we're choosing to go along with the new narrative, which is just take offense about it. If somebody says something you don't like, regardless of what the reason is, you simply must be offended. You must take defense. And in return, you are becoming more and more emotionally weak. The emotional resilience that we used to have as a people is no longer the same. And again, yes, times were different back in the day. Yes, people were different. And there are many parts of society that we would not want to replace with what we have today. But this specific part, I believe, we need to have a return to. Every single one of us, me included. I found myself in situations where I was being offended in places where I would have never been offended before. Started taking offense to things I never would have. Everything was now a microaggression. Everything was somebody, acting violently towards me. Simple looks from people started becoming, oh, that's an act of violence, right? That's an act of aggression. When in reality, that person might have just been having a bad day. An example. I was at the coffee shop yesterday, actually. Was it yesterday? It was yesterday. And I was about to go sit in an area. So a seat opened up. I'm heading towards that area. And me and this old lady are walking towards the very same area. Like this little, cushiony, couchy little seats, right? Two of them. And so we get there at the same time. And I tell her, oh, did you want to sit here? Because this is usually the spot I sit at. But I said, did you want to sit here? She said, no, it's fine. It's fine. You can sit here. And I said, no, it's okay. There's two seats. We can both sit here. And she said, no, it's fine. Now, this old lady had a mask on. I couldn't see her face, but I could obviously tell her ethnicity. She was a Caucasian woman, around 170 years old, right? And so I said, I don't bite. It's okay. You can sit here too. And she said, no, I'm fine. And she started walking away. I said, there's two seats. I was about to get offended, really. Because the first thought in my head was, trigger, must be a racist. Then she said, well, I thought you had a cold. And it looked like you had a cold. And I realized I was itching my nose before because of seasonal allergies. And then I realized after she went to sit in the corner away from everybody else and finally took her mask off. And I realized she was looking around the entire place the whole time. So this was somebody who was paranoid about catching something because she's 170 years old and she's afraid that, if she catches something, maybe she's compromised, right? So I was able to see the entire situation play out, and I could have chosen just to take offense and in my mind or out loud say this woman is a racist, this is racism, this is an aggression or microaggression or whatever it may be. I could have chosen that, but instead I let it play out to see what happened. Now, that hasn't always been the case. There have been cases where I just made the assumption and kept it pushing. I just made the assumption, kept it pushing, took it personally, kept it pushing, and I held on to those things. I held on to those situations and circumstances, and I suffered as a cause. I held on, I did not forgive, and I suffered. And that's what happens to us when we live in this state of continuously taking offense about everything, of not actually introspecting, being self-aware, and being understanding that not everything, in fact, most things in this life, almost all things are not personal unless we allow them to be personal. If somebody came up to me and called me a nigger with a hard R, that does not mean it is a personal attack. it is personal to them because they might have so much anger and resentment and frustration and bigotry within their own hearts, but that says nothing about me. But how I choose to react to a situation, it says everything about me. Now, like I said in the beginning, I am a person who still says, if you believe something is truly disrespect, voice it, but not voicing it from a place of weakness or a place of resentment and bitterness, because that is weakness, right? Anger is momentary. Anger is a feeling, and it is transient. It is passing. So when you're in a state of anger, I say don't act upon that anger. Don't act on the anger. Act when you are in a place of actual power, right? That anger might lead you into a place of power because now you're finally willing to say something, speak up for yourself, etc. But when you let that anger be the actual force in which you use to speak your mind, it will be defensive. You will attack, and then you will be attacked. Like you are literally just putting the energy of anger out into the universe and manifesting it or attracting it right back into your own experience. And you wonder why you continue to attract passive aggressiveness or aggressiveness, anger, and resentment and bitterness from other people. It's because that's what you're holding within your own heart. That's how the universe works. That's how God has created this ecosystem that we call life. You are giving what you're getting. You're getting what you are giving. So, that's some good water. Drink water, y'all. Drink more water. So, when it comes to this thing of, again, offense, it seems as if it is almost impossible sometimes not to take offense. And I will be honest with you and say that in most cases, when, let's say, it feels as if somebody is saying something that is personally attacking towards you, like if they're maliciously doing something to trigger you, you're going to at first feel triggered. You will at first feel offended. But the key word is it's a feeling, which means it's only an indicator that you are thinking something. Every emotion we have, which is energy in motion, is telling us that we have a specific thought. It's like a check engine light. You don't want to break the check engine light or act upon the check engine light. You simply want to know that, okay, this is telling me something's going on with the engine. The same thing with your emotions. Your emotions are telling you something's going on mentally. And when you have the self-awareness or allow yourself to be self-aware, you start to look at your thoughts in the moment of having that emotion. And you realize that your thoughts are of something of, this person is disrespecting me. They're saying this and that about me. And when you get down to it, you realize that almost every case, it is your ego. Your ego has been hurt. Your ego has been bruised. You are taking offense. You are offended by something because your ego is involved. This isn't saying you're evil, you're a terrible person, you're so bad, you should be ashamed of yourself. It's just the truth. It is reality. You are allowing your ego to dictate your decisions and your actions when you act upon that offense. When you start to fight somebody back or tell them that they need to do this or do that or, insult them back, whatever it may look like in your world, or even passive aggressiveness. You hold it within yourself, but you're really cussing them out in your head and you're wishing this and that upon them. Like you've been in a situation in traffic. Almost every single one of us have been in this type of situation. Or if you don't drive, you've been in some type of situation where it seemed like somebody was physically disrespecting you, right? So in a car, they cut you off, right? Or they won't let you get in front of them even though they got some space or whatever it may be. Or if you're walking on the street, somebody, bumps into you. And you start to think to yourself, man, I can't believe like this person disrespecting me like that. They're doing this to me. You might not say anything out loud, but you're saying it in your heart. And you're having the very same emotional experience. You're having the very same effect upon your physiology, your psychology. And so those things accumulate. Those things become habit. Those things become our normal way of acting when we continue to do them. And most of us have been programmed since we were kids to have those sorts of reactions. When you saw mama or papa in the front seat of that car cussing out everybody who cut him off, you started to pick up that was the normal way of engaging these type of situations. And so you have to start taking a back seat. As an adult now, as a young adult, whatever you may be, 170 years old, whatever you may be, it's time for you to finally start taking that step back. And I don't mean it physically. Well, sometimes maybe physically. Somebody's trying to square up. You might want to step back for real. But you want to step back internally to start to be introspective, to start to be self-aware of why am I feeling this way? And again, every single time you ask yourself, why am I feeling this way? You will see the direct thoughts that are leading to it. You'll see the cycle of thoughts that you're having. Now, we could go in and start to work on just changing your thinking. But to be honest with you, the most powerful thing you can do is change the belief system itself, right? The actual belief. Like, what story are you telling yourself truly? And the real story most of the time is, I'm not worthy of love, or people don't respect me, or I'm not worthy of respect, or I'm shameful, I'm broken, something's wrong with me, I'm fallen, whatever it may be. That is the underlying story. That is the core belief system. And once you can start to work on that belief system and debunk that belief system, tell that belief system that is not true and replace it with one that is. And it's truly as simple as changing, again, your belief, changing that thought. The only reason you believe that thought is because you've been repeating it over and over again, and it's become a habit for you. Since you were probably a child, you're repeating it. And it doesn't have to take you a lifetime in order to change a belief. It just takes how willing are you to drop the old belief? How in love are you with the old story? How in love are you with defending that old story? How in love are you with those emotions that you used to entertain all the time? How in love are you with the old self? If you are deeply in love and infatuated with the self that was reactive and fighting, and you felt like you had power, but you truly didn't, all you had was resentment and bitterness, if you're in love with that version of yourself, then you will forever find yourself choosing that version. You will keep on to the old belief. But if you're somebody who truly wants to live life at the fullest, to truly be in this fulfilled state of life, state of consciousness, state of being, and have your world around you manifest in the very same way, and truly experience power, which is in the peace, which is in the self-awareness, which is in making conscious decisions, and feeling the internal and external effects of that, then you will make the decision to change that belief. To say, no, this doesn't mean I'm not deserving. I am deserving. I am deserving of love. Though I may have been raised on conditional love, I am deserving of love. I am a child of the Creator. I am one with all. Like, I am absolutely deserving of love. I'm not fallen. I'm not broken. I'm not this or that. That's a perception that I'm choosing to buy into. That's only a story. And I can choose to tell myself a new story. Guys, a belief does not mean it's true. Something being a belief only means that we've been repeating it to ourselves. We can repeat anything to ourselves. You can tell yourself, I'm not enough, I'm not enough, I'm not enough, or I am enough, I am enough, I am enough. And both are going to be true within your own life experience. And it is only you who can choose which one you're going to live your life off of, period. So, I know that it's time for us to start stepping out of this place of taking offense and taking on all of these stories and ideologies and belief systems and identities that the world is trying to throw at us, really fear-based identities, so that we can be more and more offended, so we can be weaker, so we can be in a place of anxiety and stress and frustration and resentment and not be free. These are prisons of the mind. That's all that is. Nothing more, nothing less. A prison of the mind. Every time you take offense and you hold on to offense, think about the word offense or offense, right? When you take offense, you are putting up this wall, this barrier between you and the world. And so love can't come in and love can't go out. So there's no natural cycle. There's no natural flow. And so you suffer as a consequence of that. It is only when you let those walls down that life can move fluidly for you, period. So if you're an individual who is in this process and you find yourself having a difficult time, or you find yourself yearning for it, like more than just a difficult time, you have to be somebody who is committed to actually making the change. Make sure that you book a one-on-one consultation with me. I have my schedule open right now, like literally right now. I can't predict if it's going to be open, a month or 2 months down the road, because it's getting busier and busier as far as my schedule. So make sure to book a time, book a day that works for both of us. And after that first appointment, that first the assignment that we have together, we'll see if we want to move on from there, and we can truly start to take these on head first. We can truly start to dig into these and create that lasting change within your life. So make sure to go into the description below, click on that Calendly link, book a time, book a day that works for the both of us. And right now, I will be building out different products, things of that nature, just to help you guys. So look out for probably a course that I'll be putting together that is just really a summation of like how to truly shift our consciousness, how to change our internal belief systems, how to rewire the programming that has been reinstated over a lifetime, and how to do so within a matter of weeks as opposed to a lifetime that you have to wait. Now, you do have to build the habits and you do have to do the work. But if you're somebody willing to do the work, then these things and, even the consultations will be so powerful. They will be game changing for you. I appreciate you for taking the time to watch this. Make sure to subscribe to this channel. Share it with somebody that you love. I appreciate you. Peace.